FaceTime is a wonderful thing.
There you go.
I just saw your daughter.
Yeah, she yelled at me.
I saw your grandson.
Microphone's up.
I'm not sure if you recognize me or not.
Yes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 6:30, I call the Universal City Council meeting to order. Call for quorum check.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Here.
Councilmember Putt.
Here.
Councilmember Rubal.
Here.
Councilmember Shelby.
Here.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Invocation tonight is Councilmember Rubal, and now we'll move to the pledge.
Heavenly Father, please extend your hands over the residents of the Universal City, our city staff, and the first responders. Keep them safe, give them peace and joy over the holidays. Give us the will to take care of our residents and our staff. Let us move forward in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you.
First up is citizens to be heard. Has opportunity to speak on any matters not specifically listed. And we have one person, Mr. Paul Nigerian.
And he lives.
In a suit. Did your suit sign up too?
Did your suit sign up too? Mr. Mayor, Councilman, thank you. My name is Paul Nigerian. I live at 107 Rindale in beautiful Universal City, Texas. Tonight, I know we all want to get out to the beautiful festivities outside, but since I don't get around as much as often as I'd like to anymore, still looking forward to spending more time with the city and everything. I just want to let you know that I have been paying attention to what's been going on, and I still keep up as much as I can. And just like any other citizens, I agree with a lot of things you do. I disagree with some, and but I love the city, and that's what makes us. That's what makes us Universal City. We can agree, disagree, and still end up with the beautiful city that we have. We used to refer to it at one point as our little Mayberry, and sometimes things grow. The only thing that is steady and that is going to always happen is change. So sometimes we get used to it. Even Mayberry needed their Mount Pilot. Maybe we'll turn into a Mount Pilot, but whatever it is, it'll still be our UC, and it'll be our shining beacon on the hill. And at this time, I only wanted to say Merry Christmas to you all. I wanted to thank the city staff. I wanted to thank the council member and the mayor for the time that you put into the city. It doesn't go unrecognized. The fact that your minds that you put in, the love and everything is taken for granted sometimes. But we know what a job this is, good, bad, and indifferent, and what a privilege it is to represent this fine city. And I just, at this time, want to say thank you so much for all you do, from my family to yours, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. No one else has signed up, so we'll move on to the next, which is staff reports, city manager report.
As you know, as we've been working on the golf course, we did make a promise as staff to come back periodically and give you an update on what's happening on the golf course. It turned out that it happened to be this agenda, which I had forgotten was going to be Christmas tree lighting, but it worked out for Katie and Sal, who were able to bring their families and their kids out with them. I hope we were able to bring them. So we're going to give you a brief update of how everything's going at the golf course in terms of food, beverage, and golf rounds. And who wants to go first? Thank you, Sal.
Well, good evening, Mayor Council. First, it's going to be hard to go after that outfit, but I'll try. Again, just to be a quick update on the golf course. First, I want to again to say thank you and for the decision y'all made back in 2024 for allowing us to resurface the greens of the golf course. That has been a game changer to our golf course. It's been crazy. Some of the highlights that we've had is last year, the fiscal year 2025, we've had the most rounds we've ever had. Based on preliminary estimates, we approximately made an extra $600,000 on green fee revenue from 2024. Our overall green fee average has gone up. We're hosting more high-end golf tournaments, which is bringing more people to Universal City, also bringing new golfers to see the facility, and it helps with food and beverage sales as well. Pro shop sales have gone up. Our driving range revenue has gone up, all because of the greens and the conditions of the golf course. People are understanding and seeing the golf course and loving it. But finally, the main thing is our online reputation. On Golf Now, we have a rating of, in the last 12 months, we've had a rating of 4.6 out of 5 stars on Golf Now, which is tremendous. So what that tells me is that the decisions that are being made, excuse me, are not only benefiting the bottom line of the golf course, but it also is helping with the retention value. So again, it's been a game changer. The greens have been amazing. So again, in conclusion, with your continued support, we can further enhance the golf course to better benefit our community and our city. Again, thank you all very much for the opportunity to speak, and again, thank you for your leadership. And that's all I have.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. So we've had some kind of changes in food and beverage world. So with the greens, that renovation, it obviously upticked in golf, and so we were able to capitalize on those new golfers that came in. And so we've been really focusing on enhancing that relationship and upselling more. And so with that, our clubhouse sales have gone tremendously over what it used to be. And so we've really focused on that because our weddings and events are a little at a lull right now. So I think there was a weird shift. I think people are really uncertain with the economy, and the government shutdown did not help us. We had several clients that are like, okay, we'll put it down once we get our money back. And so we finally started seeing, but just within the last 2 weeks, finally deposits start coming back. So it was a little weird couple months where we were sweating and we're nervous. We had Christmas parties canceling, we had weddings asking for postponement because they need more time to pay it off. And so it's a really weird shift. So we kind of focused a lot on let's capitalize what we have here in-house with these golfers and with our happy hour revenue. And so you can see that. And so our, just in October alone, the average per golfer spend was over $10.50. So, and that's up from the past too. So that's great. And so we went to this wedding convention, and there's a lot of weird things with Gen Z. That's where our brides are right now, or a lot of the Gen Z brides, and technology is really important to them. And so our sales is a little bit different. So we're having to redo some of our marketing strategies to where in the past it's like, hey, call us up. We can call, we can get you on the phone. If I get you on the phone, then hopefully I can get you in for a tour. When I get you in for the tour, I have a pretty high close ratio. But the problem is getting people on the phone or getting them to come out is challenging. And so we're trying to make it easier for them. We have like a booking where they can book an appointment online. And so they've been using that. And so it's a different world and different kind of sales strategy. So we're kind of figuring out what are we going to do to shift that marketing around in the future to figure out how to get those brides out. But we're pretty hopeful. I think we've booked 3 deposits in the last 2 weeks, so it's good. It's definitely coming up. So.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. So, no other information or anything? Any questions or anything from staff?
I don't have a question, but I have a statement. I shared it with Sal this afternoon. I have a friend that I've known for many years who's been gone for 4 months, hobnobbing with Washington, D.C. people, playing golf in all the best golf courses in Philadelphia and D.C., Baltimore, all around, and came home, played the course, and said, never leave it. This was the best course he played in, even with all the big wigs in D.C. So your reputation's out there, babe.
Thank you, that's awesome to hear.
All right, thank you. We'll move on. And now we'll go into announcements. Any,
I have just a few, Mayor. So obviously, we hope we can enjoy the tree lighting, but if you don't have anything to do on Saturday, you won't be leaving the city at 5:35 a.m. So we have pancake breakfast, which is from 7 to 11 over here at the fire department. We have the Fallen Memorial that is being held by the VFW at the library on Saturday. That is at 10:30 a.m. And then we have the Aviation Market Days, which I think it starts at 10 also. So plenty to do within the city. Mayor Bell, I think, was sending out an email to you with all the dates or the times for all of those events so that you could get it on your calendar. And that's all I have this evening, sir.
thank you. I'll do my announcements first there. You're all familiar with the Northeast Partnership. Universal City is part of the Northeast Partnership. There's 13 cities that are northeast of San Antonio that we collaborate together for, especially just working together as small cities. Just FYI, the 13 cities is going to be going into 14 cities. Converse is coming into, as requested to join, and they've actually, it's been approved by the committee, so they'll be moving in also. This Friday, we've heard about the Tuskegee Airmen for the new training, aircraft trainers that are coming in, the T-7s, commonly referred to as red tails, going back to World War II. Anyway, the first contingent of the aircraft arrives this Friday. So if you see some of the red tails flying around, aircraft flying around and everything, you'll know that the new generation of trainers is coming into Randolph Air Force Base. We have a ribbon cutting Friday at 11:30. New burger place over next to Bubba's. I can't think of the name of it though.
Grill House.
The Grill House. I haven't been there yet. I tried to go there the other day, but they were actually closed. I got there too early. But anyway, that's at 11:30, so if you're available, we appreciate it. And that's all I have, and we'll start with council, and by tradition, Mr. Rubal, you start off.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, it's been almost 2 years now, and I'd hoped that we would be in a slightly different place. But that said, I never doubted the commitment of staff and, of course, our first responders and Randy's public works people and so forth. I've never doubted them. I just am very hopeful that we can find ways to make sure that we always keep the residents in mind and give them the most bang for their tax dollar buck in the new year. So I thank you, Mr. Mayor, and council and city staff for answering all questions that I've had in the past 2 years. And again, hopefully we can move things even further along. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Putt?
Tree lighting is going on. It was a great work of people working together, the city staff, Kathy and her group, volunteers. You can tell by the numbers out there tonight that it was a huge success, and I appreciate everything the city staff and the support the city has put into this. It's just really a magical night out there.
Mr. Shelby?
I'm good tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Vaughan?
Just Merry Christmas. We don't get another chance.
Pro Tem?
Yeah, I was just going to recognize how hard the city has worked this last month in getting the community ready for Christmas and tree lighting and pancake breakfast. And it's just such a festive time of year, and it's really special to be a part of the community. Thank you.
Tree lighting, wow, great job. Seriously, impressive.
Did a nice job. So that one out there. Let's go with the, coming up with the consent agenda. I'm going to request that item B be pulled from the consent agenda, and then we just go ahead and vote and move for a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay. No discussion?
We're voting on A.
Just voting on A.
Just A. Okay.
So
Just
call for the vote.
Councilmember Shelby,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby,
Aye.
Councilmember Putt.
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. I pulled item B, personal reason. Anytime I pull something, I like to explain why. This consent agenda was unanimously voted on last week, or the last meeting. I'm convinced that maybe some of our council members might have had second thoughts or whatever, and I just wanted to give them the opportunity that if they are not really in 100% agreement with this, give them the opportunity to vote their conscience. And that's the only reason why I wanted to pull this. So not pointing fingers at anybody or anything of that nature. I just want everyone to feel like they have a say and your voice matters. So with that being said, I'll call for a motion.
Move for approval. Second.
Any other discussion? Let's call for a vote.
Councilmember Shelby.
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby. Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick.
Aye.
Councilmember Putt.
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal.
No.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Approved. With that being said, go to action items. First vote up is council input on the municipal solid waste RFP.
Thank you, Mayor. Maribel's going to get the presentation for Mr. Lantrip up. So you probably remember Mr. Lantrip. He came to us a few months ago, actually, and talked about the process and the template that they have for solid waste services, and that we are his 27th city. I feel like we need to get a little badge that says 27.
37th.
37, okay, even better, we're the 37th city. So he has met with a lot of the staff, in particular Public Works, Development Services, Code Enforcement, and the Utilities Department. Those are the 4 departments that typically deal with residents and businesses in terms of trash and brush and recycling. And so they've given him a lot of good feedback. He's used that information to build the RFP process. So now it comes down to City Council. I need you to answer some questions, help us polish up what we're sending out so that we can stay on our timeline and get that RFP out into the newspaper and on the website and start getting proposals. So with that, I will turn it over to Lynn.
All right, thank you very much. I can't follow this outfit that was required of me. I'm underdressed. Honorable Mayor and Council, Lynn Lantrip here. I'm one of the 3 principals for solid waste specialists. We're a 7-year-old firm, blessed by God. You are our 37th customer in 7 years, and that should tell you we have been very blessed. But I'm surrounded by elected officials that my partner Richard, long-term mayor in DeSoto, Texas, George Wheatley, long-term mayor in Arkansas. I was 40 years with Waste Management, so I'm the garbage man in the crew, but I do know what I'm doing. So we spent most of our career responding to these very things that now I'm writing. And I always vowed if I ever had a chance, they were all messed up. Most of the time they were messed up. And they created a real dilemma for the board elected officials who had to try to decide on something that was very convoluted. We don't do that. By the time this thing gets to y'all, it's going to be a pretty easy process. I'm going to go through the timeline. Y'all hired us in September. In November, gracious city manager put together a group of professionals inside the city to give me, I had copious notes to work with, very specific, all the way down to, I think there's 3 actual subdivisions that were actually kind of called out and drilled down so they get some specific attention. But the most of the things that you're doing here, we just got off the heels of Cipolo and Shirts. It's not greatly different. You know, it is different in Universal City. But I'm very familiar with the situation of the geography. So tonight, the next slide, I'm going to kind of show you what the notes that they gave me generated. And I'm going to ask for your blessing on it. And if you want to change something, tonight's the night to tell me. And then we'll make the change. It'll go back to Lady City Manager. And then the next step is it goes to get vetted by the city attorney. And we're very unique in one thing. We send to these bidders the RFP. It's 70 pages, I guess. But the contract that will be used on the other end of this thing after you vote
That contract will already be vetted by the city and the city's attorney. It won't be a contract that the garbage haulers bring back in. Trust me, that thing is lopsided. This will not be. This will be loaded your way. And that's what you want. Because someone made a comment about protecting the citizens. It is designed to protect your citizens. January is our target date to get it out. Give them 30 days. They'll need every day in it to get it back. February the 18th. And then that group that she will designate, that will be the judges. I won't be a judge. It'll be little internal professionals that have it in the heart for Universal City. They will judge. I will just do the math. I'll put together the math piece. Mine's easy. But theirs is very tough. And so this thing will be vetted on top of being vetted. And it's kind of like a funnel going this way. They'll come in, we'll start throwing some of them off. Finally, we get down to probably 1 or 2 or 3, whatever her desire is to interview, and then that's where the rubber meets the road. When they come in here and get interviewed, by the time whoever is brought before you as the winner, it will be clear cut. You're not looking for anything shades of gray. Contract starts August 3rd. All right, so this is the critical piece tonight while I'm standing before you. Right now, I've written the first 2 options are for garbage collection and has a cart, new cart. Everything's new. And I had an opportunity to speak to a few of you before we got in here. The reason everything's new is because the incumbent will not have a leg up. They will have to compete at the same level that everyone else has to compete. And everyone else has to buy everything new. So, all new cars, all new dumpsters, all new roll-offs. The appearance of the town gets lifted, and that's the whole idea. I spent 25 years on the board of directors for Keep Texas Beautiful. I fully understand the impact of the visual and what it does for protecting the property value and how it encourages people to move into Universal City. As you guys know, you compete with Cipolo and Shelby. I had to make the same speech to them, but it's the truth. You are competing to get people to move here or to open their business here. You'll get a lot more done with cleanliness than you will with tax abatement. So, option 1, we'll stay with twice a week. We'll get a price up for you on twice a week garbage in a cart, which personally I think is overkill, but that's just my opinion, and it means nothing. You're the voters. If you want to leave that in there, we're going to get a price for you. Or the more conventional 1 time a week with the cart. The reason it's probably an overkill to do twice a week here is because you are using the pink tag. And for those of you that may not be familiar, it's a tag that the resident can purchase and put on a bag outside of the cart. So if it's just a little heavy that 1 week, problem is solved. To make everybody in the city pay for that guy's a little bit extra, which is what you're doing, y'all will make the decision. I'll leave it in there if you wish me to, but you are covered on 1 time a week with the pink tag. You're also covered by, if you look at the very bottom of that slide, for those garbage situations that are just outside the norm. We don't want to leave any resident wondering what they're supposed to do and start bugging you. That's the last thing. We don't want your phone to ring. That's the idea. So there is an unusual accumulation that they can call and ask to have that done at their house. It could be a lot of furniture came to the curb or something like that. Every resident in this thing will get on a weekly basis the equivalent of a sofa and a bunch of brush that would be as big as the sofa, or 2 refrigerators. They get 4 cubic yards every week, and that is a dramatic increase in the service available to these residents over what the current contract is. Dramatic. Once again, my training at Keep Texas Beautiful was this: the faster it goes away, the cleaner the place stays. You don't want people holding things. Oh, I gotta remember when and what week, and do I have to make a phone call? No phone calls. They just get it to the curb. They do not have to bundle it. They have to just have to use common sense. You have to get it in a way that a man or woman, whoever they're gonna have that picks it up, won't be injured doing it. So it is common sense. But we want to make it as easy on the resident as possible and as fast as it can get out of here. That's what we want to see. On recycling, there's two options right now, unless you tell me to change it. One is the conventional one time a week in a cart. The other might seem not conventional to you, but I'll explain it. And that's to do it every other week. Now, if you're wondering what that does to recycling, I have to be honest with you. You're looking at a guy that's, I spent my whole life at Waste Management, 40 years. I sat there arguing with people that were doing this every other week, and I said, what are you doing? You got to do this every week. That's the only way to do this. And I started getting these phone calls from the people up north, and they said, Lynn, you're a dinosaur down there. What are you doing? I said, well, I want to make sure we get as much recycling as we can. They said, we are getting the exact amount of tonnage every other week that you're getting every week. And of course, not being a believer in the verbal, I made them send me reports and data sheets, and I read them. And so I stand before you telling you that that's the truth. Now, you will save, the resident will save a decent amount. Maybe a buck, maybe $1.50. But they will save to do that. So I encourage you to let me leave that in there so that you'll at least see the price for every other week. I think you'll be encouraged by what you see. You're not going to give anything up. And we're also asking in the price for household hazardous waste collection to be done up to one time a month. That'll be a price. Most of the time nowadays, $1.30, something like that. They'll come and do it. You'll be packaged. They'll communicate with the resident, tell them how to package it. So the paint goes away, all those things that are poisons go away. Everything under that kitchen sink that's dangerous to the kids goes away, but it doesn't go out in the cart because it shouldn't, because it's not supposed to end up in the landfill. And I already covered the paint tag. I'm going to stop before I hit the next slide. This is the most important slide. I'm not going to keep you all very long. This is the most important slide. Alec, what you see up there, do you want me to change anything? Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir. Just so I'm real clear, 4 cubic yards once a week option for brush and bulk pickup and pink tags?
Yes. Pink tags are really for garbage. They're really for garbage because you're only going to be able to put.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of two different things.
Okay. Yeah. And both options include the 90-gallon carts.
Right. 96.
Has there been discussion about smaller carts for the elderly or disabled?
We have not discussed it, but we can ask for a price for that. What the garbage companies try to do, it's really an inventory nightmare, is to try to guess, how many do I hold out? How many folks are going to ask for that? Because the cost for them to purchase the cart itself, the difference between the smaller cart and the big cart is $5. It's nothing, right? And in the reality, now that I am one of the elderly people at 77, I will have to tell you that it doesn't take any less juice to roll that 96 than it does a 65. They're the same. For me, being a tall guy, it's a problem because it's lower to the ground. But you're sacrificing probably 2 bags. You get about 7 bags in the big bucket. I've got 5 in the small. I never saw anything. I would just tell you, jump back in my past. I won't give you all my old war stories, but when we did Fort Worth, and that's the biggest thing in the South, 280,000 houses, they let it get out of control with a lot of small carts. Out of control. To the extent, this isn't going to happen here, But to the extent that a gun was pulled on one of the drivers, out of the frustration felt by the residents who thought, what is going on here? It was resolved instantly whenever they said, all right, get the little car shop, put everything back to the 96s, problem solved. It doesn't take, it's not a smaller footprint in the garage, it's the same bottom. It's just a height difference, that's all you got. So not being argumentative, and I will draft it however you want to do it. If you want to add 65s and get a price, Madam City Manager.
I want to add in, so for the elderly, some of the elderly who need it and the disabled, we have the door-to-curb service.
Yeah.
The contract calls that we will still have the door-to-curb service.
Yeah.
So for those who need it, and we know, I don't remember, Shana, how many people did we have on it? The door-to-curb, somewhere around 80 people now. And of course, our contract says only 40, but we have 80 people who are on it. They can still get their door-to-curb service, which means they leave it at their garage. Some of them open their garage door and let the man or woman take it out. Some of them have it on the side of the house. All of that's still accommodated on the door-to-curb service.
So for curb-to-door service, one of the confusing things the last go-around was the qualification for that.
There was no qualification. If somebody called and asked for it, they got it, which is why we have 80.
Do we have any idea, in addition to the 80, how many additional people would need curb?
I don't know, because we make it available to anyone.
Would that not be an open-ended thing then in an RFP? Not knowing essentially the high.
We didn't put a limit, I don't think the RFP has a limit on it, it just says that it offers it. The current waste management contract limited it to 40, but we knew that wasn't gonna fly, and so we told waste management we were going to exceed it, and they were fine with it.
Okay.
But again,
To be honest with you, in every Texas city, that's a standard offering is the vendor's gonna do this for the majority, and there's gonna be some folks that need some help. And they just provide that. There's not quantities, and you just call and tell them they have to do it. So the price that the person pays at that home is the same price that their neighbor pays that doesn't require that service. And it's an honor system, you know, not taking advantage.
And medical waste?
Sir?
Medical waste?
Whatever they will allow, they will establish in their response on the household hazardous waste, they will establish what they will accept. Now, the RFP has got a minimum standard of what will be, they can't just take the kitchen sink. They can't take drugs anymore, they can't do that. But there's a number of things that they can take.
I'm thinking particularly disposable syringes for the diabetic, people.
I think they can do that in certain boxes. There are certain boxes that stuff has to be put in. I haven't done this in a while. It's been 10 years since I retired. But they will establish, the way this thing will work, whoever wins, they will have access to, I guess, your website. Plus, the rules of the road have to be established with all the residents at the same time, and they'll be told, okay, this is the parameters that you get in this deal. You can do it every month. You never do it. Like, everybody's going to pay. But I will tell you, you'll never find a better way to do it than this way. It's going to be probably most of the time it's at the garage door front. It's not usually at the curb. You don't want the wrong thing, you know, so you'll be happy with it overall.
Mr. Chairman? I'm good. Change my mind. Mr. Vaughan?
I'll confess, I don't quite understand the bottom part, and I don't think you need to get into it right now, but it sounds like a great service from what you explained, and it sounds like it's a lot more service at our door than we're currently getting.
Yes.
It also sounds a little bit expensive. So just to clarify for me, is it all kind of be piecemeal to where once it comes in, if we think, oh, well, that last bullet point is going to be too expensive for us, would we be able to take it out? Or are we setting a service level really high to where we're going to get bids that are high because we've set a high service level?
This is exactly the way it was set up at your sister cities who came in the low 20s. And that's what I expect to see here.
Okay.
And no, you can't cherry pick. You can't cherry pick.
But you're gonna have a price come back for option one, option two, and then we're gonna pick like that,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And same thing with the recycling.
Yeah, the same things will be at the bottom of that screen will be in option one or two. You're gonna still get 4 yards of the brush and bulk. It's a combination. Some people have a lot of brush, some people have furniture. But if someone has let's take a rent house, I'm sure you got some of these in here, and somebody evicts somebody, and there's a lot of furniture that's gotta go. They gotta go somewhere with it, when we don't want it to go on the county road. So, the bidders will be asked to give a price on a per hour basis. It's gonna be in 15 and 30 minutes, that's all it takes to get this stuff up. And volume for disposal, so they'll be locked in at those numbers. But a supervisor will have to come to that resident's house and visually see what's going on here. So if it's an eviction and there's a bunch of furniture, that price is gonna be established using the rates in the RFP. It's gonna be established with that homeowner before anything takes place. So no surprises. But also, we're not gonna have any homeowner just going, well, I'll just put it in the pickup truck and take it out on the county road. There should be no reason for that. Everything that could possibly happen in a house, we've covered.
Great, thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Goolsby?
Thank you, sir. So I got a couple of things. One is on the unusual accumulation collection. And it kind of ties into the brush collection. Is that, the brush collection does that get picked up on my day of service?
Yep.
Okay, so is there a limit? Because I'm gonna put it out on Saturday. And if we're at the once a week, I put it out Saturday. Well, it shows up at my house Saturday morning to pick up the trash. And so I put it out on my brush Saturday, so it's gonna sit a week before they can pick it up again if we do the once a week option. Is that basically what I'm looking at?
For the brush collection, brush and bulk.
Mm-hmm. How long, so, and then the same thing for the unusual accumulation.
Those are two different things.
I understand, but the idea is, it's gonna go out to my curb. How long does it sit at my curb?
It shouldn't take very long at all. They have to send a supervisor out, you gotta agree to the price.
Same day service, or are we
I
talking
doubt
anything
it,
about?
I doubt it, because you can't do that.
I understand.
Yeah.
So
And
what
there's an educational component, this is an educational component to it. So on the unusual accumulation, yeah, we're gonna probably have, we see it all the time, people who clean out their garage and take up every inch in front of their house and expect somebody to pick it up. Well, it's not gonna get picked up. So that's where it falls back on code enforcement or utilities if they get the call to get the address, to go out there to call them and say, hey, you've got to call and get a price to get this picked up. We give you so many days, a regular code enforcement process. They make the call, the vendor comes out, the vendor gives them the price, and then it gets picked up and it gets added to their bill.
So what I'd like right now is the idea of, everybody I talk to, hey, what do y'all want with this? Well, number one is everybody likes their twice a week pickup that I've talked to. I don't talk to everybody in the city. I hope that he talks to people I don't talk to, and then we can kind of come together. But it's the twice a week because me as a family of four, I'm gonna fill mine up a lot faster than my mother-in-law's, with one or two in her house. So, and the pink tags, I'm gonna put it out there the night before because again they come at 7 and I don't get up that early. So I'll put my pink tag out on Friday night. And the raccoons show up. So that's what I don't like about the pink tags, they're for trash. But, this is all going to go.
I have something for you to think about.
Okay. And then, but the other side I like is they wanted the brush collection back, something that was a little bit easier. I don't care. I just burn it anyway and it just goes with it. We have the city offers services, but what I've noticed, I appreciate the fact that I don't have brush out all the time, all at the street, all the time. I mean, that week that Randy's got all the stuff going down to the yard, sure, it's riding down my block, but it doesn't bother me. But you were gonna say something I didn't have to mention.
Here's some, I don't know how big your family is, there will be a price for a second cart. Okay? You get exactly what you have now. And the rest of these folks, I had no idea how many folks are in their houses, okay? I call it the football family, just for simplicity. While the kid's playing ball, he's eating out of house and home, and so agreed, one cart won't do it. Now, he's gonna eventually move out. But while he's there, you can get a second cart, and now you're paying more. They're paying less.
I want them to pay my share.
Well, that's the point, is the average person, when you see, I've studied this, we had a town up in North Texas, just south of Maine, Dallas there, and they were the only people that had twice a week cart service. I used to think, what in the world? They're just regular people, regular houses. And I would just drive through there and, nose around, I'd lift the cart. Well, the cars were half full. They were half full on Monday. They were half full on Thursday. I thought, I'm getting the idea. This is Texas. I'm going to get my money's worth. If I'm paying for 2 times, I'm going to bring it out there 2 times. But you see how silly that was. Everyone doesn't need to do that. A 7-bag cart will get her done as long as you've got recycling in the 96. At my house, now there's 4, 1 garbage, recycling every other week. I can have up to 5 bags outside, which is the same thing as a pink tag. Same thing as a pink tag. But that's just our house. And these are the things you will have to think about that night when you decide what you're going to do. But you don't have to do twice a week for everybody.
Well, and I know you just recently did this for shirts. Did you do it for Selma as well?
Yeah.
No, not Selma.
Not Selma.
I'm sorry.
But I know
Civil.
Okay, because I know Selma also changed theirs, and the council members over there are like, yeah, but we saved you all this money, but everybody that I've talked to is like, yeah, but now I've got piles of trash. And I'm not gonna lie to you, another dumpster, another 96 gallon in my backyard is not my ideal, but I'm one of.
Right. But it's just an option. I just thought I'd tell you, it's an in-betweener.
I appreciate the options, but one of the things you haven't concerned about there, most of the folks that I have talked to, prefer the twice a week. Now, I do have quite a few folks also that want one, and I have on both sides. I'm looking at it from the sanitation side of the house. This is South Texas. It gets hot here.
Amen.
And I don't care how many times you bag your garbage up, after 3 days, it smells. So I like the twice a week because at least it's not by my house stinking for 7 days. At the most, 1 day.
You're going to get a price on it.
It goes back in it.
Yeah.
Well, we got a price now, so I'm just saying that as an option, I look at it as a South Texas, and I see all these out on the street, and if they were out there for 7 days by the house and everything else, it's going to be very odorous out there. And also, if there's a miss, I mean, no matter how, if you have a holiday,
yes,
you're going to have to wait. Are they going to be there the next day, or we got to wait a week?
That'll be the next day. If you do once a week service, everything gets pushed forward 1 day.
But anyway, that is something.
But it sounds to me like you're polling and people are kind of telling you twice a week. So the price is going to give you 2 prices.
I understand this, we totally understand the price. I'm just telling you what people right now that are telling us right now, we like what we got. The price will be the deciding factor. And shirts, their decision affected their elections out there too.
Oh, yeah. This garbage is the #1 thing for a city manager to lose their job or elected officials to lose their job. I fully understand this decision.
And they went from 2 to 1, and it affected their elections.
It sure did.
Oh, that's
Yes, sir.
Well, you kind of stole what I was going to talk about. I never fill up my 96 gallon bucket, and I have 4 people living in my house on the garbage. But I cooked a 20-pound turkey, and when I was done with it, I needed to get rid of it. And it was very nice that the pickup was on Saturday. So, cooked it on Thursday, put it in the trash on Friday, it was gone Saturday morning. That was very, very useful. I have the opposite problem where, when I look at it from a recycling standpoint, that I fill that 96 gallon recycling can every week. So it goes out full every week. And I know I'm not the only one in the city that does that. So stretching that out, unless, and I'm kind of the same situation. It's not a smell problem, but, now do I need to have 2 96 gallon recycling cans so that I can do that? So I just,
price for that too.
yeah, and so I'm sure there is. So it's just, you know, it's gonna be, I think, leave the options, let's see what they come back. I'm okay with them being in there so they can come back with what the costs are. So that when we do come to a decision, it's a fully informed decision of this is what it cost if we did it twice a week. This is what it cost if we do once a week. Do we want to spend less money and have our trash hanger on a lot more? Do we want to spend less money and have to figure out for a portion of the citizens to have 2 recycling cans or 2 garbage cans, right? That becomes more of a individual, it kind of pushes that back on the individual residents at that point who need that requirement. I'm completely fine with the once a week collection. I think the biggest thing on that one is I would throw something in there and said maybe not do it on Saturdays because the vast majority of people do their yard work over the weekend. And that was one of my biggest complaints of even before when we had the brush and bulk options is that it always came on a Saturday. I usually get up on Saturday morning and that's when I do my cleaning up the yard and I've got all this extra stuff. And so it'd be really nice if it came during the week instead.
Well, would you like me to Friday where it's Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, and that's the only
I'm a one person, I'm a single voice up here. I don't know if
that is more normal. Saturday has kind of disappeared from most garbage companies. They don't want to run. They got to give their guys the day off somewhere.
Yeah, but I remember that how it was how it kind of used to be. It was always seemed to come on the weekend, so I would.
So you're saying for the bulk and brush, you want it Monday through Friday?
Would that be all trash pickup the same day?
Yeah, just not, well, if it's once a week and we're on twice a week, if it's once a week bulk, but twice a week garbage, let's just say it's that, then one of the 2 days, and you just pick the day, one of the days always one that's in the middle of the week, or during the week. So Monday through Friday, bulk will always land on Monday through Friday. The only time that would be a challenge if we go to once a week is that we're gonna have part of the city that's on once a week that'll land on Saturday or something. I don't know.
There wouldn't be any Saturday for
So, yeah,
There would never be Saturday pickup.
No Saturday. Probably only thing that would happen on Saturday would be commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Commercial.
But only on the holiday would a Saturday get stuck in for houses. But all you have to get in your mind is the carts are going to come out simultaneously. Your brush and bulk's going to come out simultaneously, all going out the same day. Now, if you go twice a week, they'll have to do some mapping and say that this section over here is Monday, Thursday, and let's just probably, I would guess, Thursday would be the brush and bulk day. But what this system is going to do, it's going to force them to run 2 different kinds of trucks. Well, I shouldn't say that. There are some companies out there that will take a different approach. That's why this is a proposal and not a bid, because everybody gets their opportunity to tell their story. The normal way of popping the carts is with an over type truck, but that truck is limited. They can't do anything except what's in that cart. But the brush and bulk's got to go that day, so they have to run a rear load truck with a guy on the back. Now, some garbage companies will say, we're not going to use a one-armed bandit. We're just going to run a rear loader. He will get the cart with a flipper. He will get the brush and bulk simultaneous to that. Personally, I find that to be the least expensive way to do it. But it's whatever that company wants to do. They will write their story.
Thank you. And I might add in on the Keep Texas Beautiful, which I've been tracking because he keeps talking about it. So the goal, from what I have learned, is that in this city on 5 o'clock on Friday, there is no trash cans out, no recycling out, no brush and no bulk. So Monday through Friday, they have swept this city, and on the weekend, when people are having open houses or parties at their house or whatever it happens to be, there should not be any rubbish, I'll call it, and cans sitting out.
Or trucks driving.
Yeah.
Or trucks driving down the roads.
Councilman Goolsby's like I am, our pickup is Wednesday and Saturday.
Right,
So I almost never put my can on Saturday unless I have something that is going to smell. So, but that's just me.
One last question.
That's it.
How does the pink tags work?
Where do you sell your pink tags? Here, City Hall?
$2.
They'll have to submit a price, and then she can mark it up, and normally they do. But I mean, do they buy it here at City Hall?
Yeah, they buy them here at City Hall at the utility window.
So you come down here and buy you a stack of those things, And then you get your standard bigger black trash bag. It's gotta be on there so the driver can see that you paid for it. If you just put a bag out there with no pink, they're not gonna pick that up. So there is some discipline to it, but they get paid fair. Once again, we don't want a homeowner doing this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That's a great way out of it.
I think the pink tags, correct me if I'm wrong, Shannon, because you're the one that sells them. When all the leaves fall, and I know not all neighborhoods are full of live oak trees and have, 55-gallon bags of leaves that come down at one time, but typically it's the big leaf users that will come in and they'll buy stacks of those pink tags because they want to get rid of them at one time, right? They've spent all weekend working on it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Their pickup is on Monday or Tuesday. You can see the bags lined up with the pink tags on them, and they all get taken away at one time.
Everybody wins.
Yes, Rubal.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, so do I understand that the brush and ball options will replace Randy's, the Public Works drop-offs, the two?
I can't speak to that.
So,
Ball.
that only happens twice a year. What we find is that people need bulk pickup, and some people brush pickup more often than twice a year. So the hopes is that they're gonna find having it available to them every week will means that we probably don't have to rely on the spring and fall cleanup. I'm not gonna say it's gonna replace it right away, but it may eventually replace it.
Okay. The other question has to deal with dumpsters, essentially commercial dumpsters and residential dumpsters. So residential dumpsters in the case of a remodel or some special thing that's going on or whatever. And the commercial dumpster, obviously one of the concerns expressed is the timing that happens in our community. So the current contract numbers are 6 to 6 for commercial. Is that pretty standard?
Most of the time they start between 3 and 4, but this thing specifically says within X number of feet of the house is you cannot service it. I don't care what time of day it is till it's daylight.
Until it's daylight.
So,
Okay.
but the idea for the garbage company is you want to beat the traffic. You don't want to be driving, popping dumpsters in morning traffic if you can beat it.
Right, understand that, but because we're such, much of our community is abuts the residential area.
That's a route around that.
The other deal with regard to dumpsters again is the homeowner that's doing a remodel or whatever. Currently, there's a fair discrepancy between the dumpster, same size dumpster, that the homeowner could get outside the contract versus the contract dumpster. Is there some way that it can be a fair price? Fair may not be the right word, but you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, it's not several $100s more to have the same volume dumpster if that service were provided within the contract or excluded from the contract.
The way this is drafted, you're going to have one company that's going to serve Universal City.
And
everything in it, and all the prices for all those possible services, even at the house. If they needed the smallest box they'll have is a 20 cubic yard box. That's a real roll-off box. That's the smallest one. Okay. You're going to pay the same thing at your house that the mayor's going to pay at his business. There's no differentiation between the two because the service is like a dump truck. That box has no idea where it is. And the amount of time necessary to service is it's the same, whether it's at a business or at a house. But this eliminates, because I know where you're going, it's an age-old issue, is, well, I could get that cheaper if I was on the open market. Yes, you should do it. And then you won't get the franchise fee that you're going to get out of this. And then you're going to have trucks all over. And who hit that mailbox? This way, one player responsible, they've got to pay their franchise fee, and if the mailbox get hit, they're going to fix it. There's not, you can't get away with it. I didn't do it, he did it. That's the whole idea of this kind of contract. So it is winner takes all. Might not have been the answer you're looking for, but that's the way it's drafted, winner takes all.
Mr. Goolsby, you're up.
Yeah, I got one more, and I apologize for that, and thanks, Bernie, for stealing my things about the commercials. I just want to make sure that it is competitive for commercial, and then that it is competitive for the roll-offs as well. Because right now, I mean, I hate the fact that, and I understand what you said, and that was, I've heard that before, and I totally agree with it. I don't, it doesn't sit well with me that my business, I'm dictated that I have to do this with this company. I understand why.
Yeah.
It's not a hill I'm willing to even fight for. I just don't like it. But the competitive on the roll-offs, from the construction side of life, if they cannot supply a dumpster within 2 days, they're killing the construction. They're frustrating the heck out of it. And if it doesn't show, if they can't supply it within a day and a half, I feel like I should be able to call a competitor and have them drop it off that afternoon.
Actually, you would call Madam City Manager, and she has the access and the hammer to deliver for you.
Because, yeah.
Now, wait, I'm gonna answer a question for you on the competitiveness of it all. This goes back to something I mentioned when I first got up here. Is I was always on the other side, responding to these things. And the inequity is always that subject. Now, there must be some of y'all up here in business that have used a roll-off, which is kind of unusual. Most of the time, the councils, they nod, but they have no idea what it is. It's the easiest way to snake it, is to have this super duper house price and get y'all nodding. And then the commercial prices, they're all pretty much the same. And then, since nobody really knows how roll-off works, they just kill you. Okay, so here's how I stop that. And at the pre-bid, this will be made clear to all the people. Everything you're gonna turn the number on in is gonna be extended. We're not gonna come before the council and say, well, this 30-yard box is gonna be $600. What's that mean to you? $600 for what? So everything that is done in there is gonna be extended based on historical data we have for most of the things. And if we don't have historical data, I'm gonna make historical data. So it is, by the way, just so you know, these things are gonna get tight. There's not gonna be some way out there winner. And it ain't gonna be like it. Most of the time, there's a 2-point spread. It will eventually be her job and the committee's job to iron that out, and then they just wipe it on at the interview and really get down hard. So by the time this company has been vetted through this process and they come before you, there's not gonna be any head scratching. They had to work to get here. But the roll-offs, I drafted in such a way that they can't get past this bill. I'll tell you how far I've gone. You know, you don't know. Commercials, all 1 through 6 days, 2 yard through 8 yard, million, and then I'll wait forever. And then a far column out here says extra pickup. And every business has to eventually have an extra pickup. Well, when I began to notice, just before I retired, I began to notice that the farmer extra pickups, which were $75 to $100, something like that, a reasonable fee for having the guy come back and dump the can again, that was real, had gone into the stratosphere. And nobody, except us, was tallying that within the RFP. I do that. There is a relationship between how many dumpsters you have here and how many collections go and extra pickups. And we make this clear to everybody. We tell them, don't go nutty, because if you go nutty, you could actually just knock yourself out of contention. Every little angle, we've seen it. Every little angle, and we kill it. That's exactly what we do. Richard and I take a lot of pride in doing this. No ambiguity, and so we don't want somebody coming up here to y'all and saying, oh, I didn't win because I didn't read page 56. Well, every page on this thing, they have to initial on the bottom and turn it back in. Everything that I've seen everything. So we write this thing in such a way that y'all can relax and not have a house full of people in here screaming at you. Did I make that clear? I guess I hopefully I did.
Before we go any further, once we give you the information, the council gives you the information you're looking for, you're gonna go out and crunch the numbers and come back, and what I'm hearing is, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that basically we're looking for a proposal with both options, 1 and 2, so we don't make the decision. So, once you come with a proposal, well, the council will now then be able to digest it and make suggestions on changing and either agree with exactly what it is or with kind of a working draft. Would be a kind of a working draft, or will you be presenting a final product?
I don't answer it. Actually, tonight, you need to give me that.
Yes.
You're talking about the RFP itself?
Yes.
So when the RFPs come in, the review team over here will go through them.
So you'll do that the vetting process.
And determine which ones will come in for interviews and then vet them and then come back with a recommendation to city council. I believe at that time, city council should still have the option to say twice a week collection.
You have a 1A,
For trash.
1B, 2A, 2B.
Yes,
Okay.
And then
those will still be the final decisions.
And then a clarification on the once a week collection.
That's what I
not to
was
happen-
looking for,
well,
so the
not to
council
happen
still
on the
has
weekend.
input, yeah.
But I don't want it to sound like it's mushy. Let me go to the next slide. And make sure you follow where I'm going. All right, so we talked about the dumpsters and the roll-offs. Facility services for the city continue free. Everything's new. The trucks can't be older than 4 years to start the job. It cannot be older than 10 years throughout this contract. The contract is written with a 5-year with 2 twos on the backside. So it's basically a 9-year contract. So trucks are gonna have to be replaced. In the process of this contract, trucks are gonna have to be replaced. So that's one of the things we're gonna be judging, or the judges are gonna be judging, is the financial capability. Somebody may have a super cheap price, their banker's not gonna do it. Liquidated damages are gonna be drafted in here, I already kind of covered that, so that the standard places where people stub their toe and residents get all bent out of shape and they get off the railroad track. To bring them in here and stand here and let y'all beat them up, y'all may feel good for 15 minutes and they may cry up here, but it's not gonna fix the problem. The only thing that's gonna fix the problem is when she pops them with the liquidated damages. And when money comes out of the back pocket, it's amazing what happens. So that's in there, there's 16 of them, they're very specific. And then they have to show these judges how their GPS software, which everybody uses, how that's going to tie into their customer service center. There is a company, I won't tell you who it is, but their program it'll blow your mind. So some of them have it's just unbelievable service the way that works. And the resident can actually almost see where the truck is. And it's going to be at their house. Now, not everybody can do that, but they all have to do something along those lines, and they'll be judged accordingly. They will have to send a report at the end of every workday of who got missed, and the next day it better show that they all got picked up. So in a way, they hang themselves when it comes to liquidated damages because it's in black and white. Missed your house and it didn't get picked up, and that's a bump right there. None of the bumps are huge. They have big ones if they didn't pick up half the city or something like that. But once again, y'all hollering at them, her hollering at them, it won't fix it. Money always fixes that problem. Okay. This may be a little detail, so I'm just going to hit the high point. She's providing judges. The judges will get the books. I will have a session with the judges about the week before that, about an hour session. And I'll say, okay, this is what you're going to be looking for. And this is what you need to judge on. I don't judge. They judge. They read it. You got good people that you should pick. They're professional. But the key is, unlike myself, I mean, I like y'all, but Universal City's not in my heart. There were 36 others that were, you know what I mean? So you need people that live here and work here to make these decisions. So I draw your attention to the ones that are double digits. Now, the operating plan, they have to write. They can't just say, we're going to come in here and we're going to work on Monday and Thursday. They won't do it. Okay, how many people are you putting in here? What kind of experience do these people have? A lot of things have to, and it's in narrative format. Transition plan's the biggest piece, is the biggest score of the whole thing, because Waste Management might win, they might not win, but if they win, they, just like everybody else, has to replace all the carts, replace all the dumpsters, and replace all the Rubal. And that, as you can imagine, is a lot of work. Because the idea is, once again, we don't want the phone ringing here at City Hall, we sure don't want your phone ringing, and we don't want the business people saying, I have no dumpster. None of that can happen. So the transition plan, they have to write one that's just gonna knock the socks off these judges to get a full 15 points for it. The customer service piece, I kind of talked about it here, but they have to demonstrate that they own that stuff, that GPS type stuff. And then the price is 35 points out of 100. You get 65 points, the written piece. And then we're gonna bring them in and work them over. So those that make it through the funnel and get all the way to the interview, I'm sure she and I and the judges will come up with a set of questions that would make them regret the day they were born. But by the time we get through with that person, that company, whatever they say, we're gonna, especially what I've listened to tonight, I got a good idea what I'd ask. So they're gonna have to demonstrate, that's where your winner's gonna come from. The funnel gets tighter and tighter and tighter until finally we've got somebody in here that passed all those deals there, have a great price. You'll still have to make a decision that night when you vote. Do you want the once a week? Because you're not gonna end up with this. You're not going to end up with national company A has the great twice a week price and national company B has the great once a week. We're not going to do that to you. There's going to be a company, and then you will, because the way we can do that is a company will have passed the muster on 65 points out of 100. And then y'all will then decide what you want, if you want once a week or twice a week, and recycling every week or every other week. Other than that, all the dumpster prices are set, all the roll-off prices are set, they meet the muster. I hope that was clear. And I think that's it for me. So I just want to thank y'all. It's more fun than a barrel of monkeys to serve you like this. I'm listening to what you're saying. I got a real sense. This place is, especially talking to Madam City Manager, y'all are really focused on cleanliness already. And she and I already talked about keep Texas beautiful and that sort of thing. Y'all really poised to even do that. But internally, you got it going on. So the idea is when we get through, we want to have the cleanest place we can possibly provide. So, anything else from me?
Mr. Rubal? Thank you very much. Very insightful. I appreciate the presentation. I kind of wish the bulleted points were a little bit different, but in any case, the residual questions are, since there will be within the system rear dumpsters, has there been any discussion on return of alleyway pickups?
No. I wasn't told in that. It's all occurred, except for Nathan Landing, Duke Way Townhomes, and Coronado Subdivision. Those had some, they were set up a little bit different.
So the only changes for Dukeway and Matham Landing is, they have parking issues. They're fourplexes. And so there's 8 trash cans for everyone. So what we did is we removed the recycling for them so that they can have parking spaces. And in the Coronado, where we already have some that have rear entry garages and that are currently getting picked up in the alley, they will stay being picked up in the alley.
And there are other areas, obviously, in our city that have that.
Right, we have it in other areas, but they are wide and they are paved with rear alleys. In other words, their alley is pretty close to looking like a street. But in the Coronado subdivision is where we have the one house with a garage in the front, one house with a garage in the back, and it flip-flop, flip-flop. So on that one, they'll have to pick up in the front and in the back.
Okay.
The rest of them are all in the rear.
Yeah, I appreciate the focus on Dukeway very much.
Yes, sir.
That's really great. I do believe that there will be some issues with regard to the alleyway pickup because they don't all meet the same street standard at this point in time, even the paved alleyways, and so, but that'll be a later.
But understand, if you have rear garage recycling and if you have rear garage entry from your alley, your trash will get picked up there, but we're still expecting your bulk and your brush to be in the front.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much for the input. Is there any other questions?
Vaughan had a question.
I'm sorry, they brought in?
I was gonna say, this was very heartening because I feel like regardless of what options you bring back to us, we're gonna make some improvements by adding back in the brush and the bulk pickup and those things. I think that will be seen as a value to our community.
Absolutely will.
So
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Vaughan?
And just because it sounds like this might be one of our last chances to provide some input, I just want to make sure that I get to say a couple things that are on my mind and that were brought up tonight. One of them was, will there be any like donations required in the RFP? Our current contract has some of that. Is that out of the RFP or is that still in the RFP?
Everything you have now is in there.
So those donations will still be in there?
Yes.
Okay. I would prefer to take those out just to keep it cleaner and simpler and just trash. But it's my personal opinion. I'm kind of with Councilmember Shelby on the leaning towards the once a week trash and once a week recycle for whatever that's worth. I do like the damages. I'm curious, you said there were 16 things that possibly, is one of them, if we have a holiday and they just choose not to do a makeup day, is that like something that would be one of those liquidated
Well, they won't have
damages?
that as an option. So that would be a missed pickup if that was to happen. That's not an option. And just so you know where these came from the city of Fort Worth. And make no mistake that Krista, their city attorney, who drafted those things 15 years ago, she was a mean motor scooter. And I will close on this. Because I haven't told you guys, this is a true story. I worked for a wonderful lady. Her office was right where the mayor is. I'm in an office over here. And we just took Fort Worth from bag service to cart service. And when I talked about the gun, I wasn't kidding. That really happened. So that educated all of us. It's just how severe and serious your constituent base is about getting their garbage collected. And somewhere there was some missed signals, terrible missed signals. And I remember her strident voice saying, "Lynn, get in here." And I hopped around and went in there, and she's standing there. She got this letter in her hand. I could see the letterhead. It said Fort Worth. "Read this." Well, it was a list that came to $60,000. Now, we were the biggest, that still is the biggest company in the world on the garbage business, but you don't have Coke money to pay $60,000. So that had to go wind its way all the way up to Carver. And you know how everybody was looking down at their desks thinking, "Oh Lord, I wish this wasn't happening." And they had to pay the bill because it was documented. There wasn't any foolishness to it, just like this would be done. You can't ask for the money unless you document it, of course. But I will tell you, by the time it came to county, and it finally got down to the dirt, that manager never did that again. Did not lose his job. But I imagine if it hadn't again, he would have. That's the seriousness of it. That's a true story. It was $60,000. I remember her voice like it was yesterday. I thought, Lord, what has happened? At the same time, I've been in my career, I went to a lot of city council meetings where we stumbled and this and that, and y'all would have just ripped into me, and I was sat here going, "Well, I'll do better, we'll do better, we'll do better." And we would till next Friday, and then they haven't started. But when you have something like that happen, it don't have to be that much money. In Paris, Texas, I took the town to an outsourced contract. The city was doing everything. City manager calls me, "Lynn, I need some guidance on what?" "Well, I'm going to have to go after this company for $125,000. What for? He said, "They're not giving their reports. They're supposed to have reports in every day and then every month. And they're not doing it." I said, "Well, here's what I would do. I would have your city attorney draft a letter and say, you have this many days to get the reports in, and you're going to pay us $125,000. And they did it, and they got the reports. You gotta have that hammer. If you don't have that hammer, you can scream till the cows come home, but they're not gonna do it.
And I might add, Mr. Vaughan, on the holiday service, right, we're in a luxury situation right now where we get it twice, so if you get this once, you're okay. But I remember reading in the draft that if we go to once a week service, they don't have enough to miss a holiday. They have to push the schedule and everybody gets picked up the next day.
Yeah,
Sure.
we cover every base.
And then two more things, I'll shut up, Mayor. On the Duke Way, another thought, and this might not be the wrong discussion, but I don't know if there's a way to get to dumpsters for them instead of individual trash cans, but that would also really help just the volume of cans that are on the road. That would be great.
So the problem is that they're individually owned units.
Unless you somehow attached it to the owner of the properties. I guess that each
Well, it
building is
is,
individually owned.
but each individual duplex has a different owner, so, a fourplex. So you own one building that has 4 units, she owns another, they're not all owned by the same people. If it was under the same ownership, absolutely, we would say, commercial, get a dumpster, everybody use them, but they're not set up that way, and neither is Malcolm Landing. Each fourplex is owned by a different person.
Okay, well, I guess we have to live with it then.
But yes, I would be with you. If it were a perfect world, I would say everything that is a triplex and over would be required to have a 2 or a 4 yard dumpster. But then here's the problem with dumpsters. They get tagged a lot. They get set on fire a lot. They get dumped in a lot. Even in the commercial district now, if you start over again, we make you enclose it. So, and lock it up so that people can't get in it and dumpster dive and start them on fire and all the other things that happen. So that might lead into a different issue if we forced everybody to go with dumpsters versus the individual cars. So the best way we thought we could clean it up is by getting rid of the recycling in those neighborhoods. And the reason I know we can rest assured do that is Waste Management has been monitoring all of those trash cans. So before they pick them up, somebody drives by, they open them and they look. They're using their recycle bins as trash cans. It's almost all trash. So now they're going to be forced to use their trash can for what it is, and that's it.
May have to get an extra.
They may have to get an extra one.
Okay, and the last thing was the franchise fee. So have you guys settled on what you want the franchise fee to be in the RFP? Is that changeable later? Do they care what it is? Because it's just gonna be tacked on top, right?
They don't care, but it is written, she gave me a number.
I think currently it's 10%, is that right?
Residential is 10%, yes, sir.
Okay, which is a little bit on the high side. I think most are probably around 5. I mean, we have complete latitude to pick whatever franchise fee we want.
So
right?
they're all over the place. Historically, Universal City has been 10%, always and forever. And then the only other thing that we changed in the contract that has been as a disadvantage to Universal City is we figured out that we can require the waste provider to get a sales and use tax permit for the city, so that when they're collecting sales tax on all of the commercial dumpsters, that sales tax gets remitted back to the city, a portion of it. Not, if they're in San Antonio right now, all that sales tax is going to the city of San Antonio. So we're requiring them to get a sales and use tax so that we can get the revenue from that as well.
Well, I would be in favor of a little bit lower franchise fee because it's just a tax on top of the
And how are you going to make
garbage.
up the difference in your budget?
Well, it's going into the utility fund, is that accurate? Because the way that it works, if I understand it correctly, is you add it to the bill to
It goes into the
the
general.
resident, right?
It goes into the general fund. It's collected on the utility bill, but it goes to the general fund.
But the fee that we charge, if I'm not mistaken, is they charge us, I don't know what the break, $22 or whatever it is, and then we add $2 to the bill to the homeowner. Is that accurate about the way that it effectively works? Where the money goes, general fund, utility fund, but just the way that we bill it. Is that
Yes,
accurate?
well, we bill, when you get your water bill, it includes your trash, and then trash has the franchise fee on it and sales tax.
Right, which is 10% higher than what we're paying Waste Management.
Correct. That's the only portion of it that we're keeping. The rest of it goes back to Waste Management.
Right. So it's just something else to consider that's in the contract that I personally would think 5% would be a little bit closer to where I would like it to be, but that's just my input. So, thank you, Mayor.
I think y'all need to think about that carefully. Let's say your franchise for waste management is $1 million a year, you're 10%, and you're asking to take it to 5%, so now you're dipping into your general fund by $500,000. I don't know what the number is, Christine's not here, she could tell us that, but I would just say be careful on that. Because if you're gonna take it off, not bring in all the revenue from the franchise fee, then you're gonna have to make up for it some other way.
Mr. Rogers, one last.
Yes, and this actually follows the councilman's statement, and that is, Mr. Mayor, would it be possible to have a discussion relative to the amount that's a required contribution to the city? I agree that it just muddies the waters, and also whatever that contribution is actually coming out to residents, whichever way you look at it. I just don't.
That's a conversation we can have at a later date.
As long as it can be done before it's included as an absolute in the RFP.
Well, that, we got some time.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, any other questions or
Wait a minute,
comments?
I'm sorry, how much time do you think we have to have that discussion? Can we pull back up his line and go to our timeline, Maribel?
Seems in January. I
No,
say
it's the second.
the RFP goes out?
So if the RFP goes
Publish
out
RFP January 15th.
January 15th, so you only have 2 meetings between now and then.
Unless we do a special meeting. So,
Up to you.
I won't be involved in that.
No, you won't be
You'll just
involved.
tell me what the number is.
I'm
Because
going to tell you that you have December 16th and January 6th. And then because in order to publish the RFP on the 15th of January, we have already had that sent in to the newspapers, a week in advance.
well, let's put it on the 16th of December. It's going to be a long meeting.
It will be a very long meeting.
So we'll pack a lunch that night. So with that being said, with the council input on the municipal solid waste RFP, we need a vote, but do we need to word it a specific way? Is there a decision?
I'm sorry, I was
Is
writing
there a
myself
specific
down.
wording that we need to vote in order to make a motion for the council input on the municipal solid waste RFP?
Well, if you're under a consensus, we'll just put it on as a discussion item and then an action item.
Okay.
Again, I don't know where you all.
Do we need to vote on tab A? Is there a
Yeah.
decision need to be made on tab A as a council?
Or did we just give input during the meeting?
Let me back up. These are 2 different discussions.
Sorry. Tab A, council input.
Tab, I've got to vote for tab A, council input on municipal solid waste RFP. Is there specific wording to that?
So yes, so what your action item is on that, Maribel, go back to his slide with all the options. Do you want all of those options included in there, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody needs to make that motion first, and then let's hit the next item.
Okay, move to approve
Second.
with all the options on the list.
Any discussion?
Oh, wait, and to include bulk pickup not on the weekends. During the week. Make sure it's during the week.
I'm still saying.
All right. Okay. Call for the vote?
We give you 1 second.
But.
Councilmember Shelby?
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby? Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick?
Aye.
Councilmember Putt?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal? Councilmember Vaughan?
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right,
Thank you very
next
much.
item.
thank you,
I'm sorry.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
that very much.
I don't know if he's made a motion or a recommendation, but Mr. Rubal asked to have the item on the
Franchise fee.
December 16th regarding the franchise fee.
No, this was regarding the
Discussion of
donations within the RFP.
All right, so the donations, okay. on the 16th. So he's requesting that we have the discussion on the waste RFPs, specifically the donations, which is $5,000 to 5 organizations within the city on the December 16th. So that's his motion. I need a second, and then we can get it.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I have a second. And any discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Rubal.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick.
No.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Aye.
Councilmember Putt.
No.
Councilmember Shelby.
No.
Mayor.
I'd like to have a little discussion on it, just so I can explain it to the, so I vote yes.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll have that on.
All right, thank you. Let's go to item B, resolution 895N 2025, retiree health benefits.
Yes, as you know, we have been slowly creeping up so that those who are retired previously and are still on our insurance would pay a higher rate because typically their medical costs cost more. So this is the year where we get up to the 200%. And so we'll stop climbing that. Now what we'll be bringing back to you in the future is what is that amount? We'll just adopt the amount. So this resolution gets us into our 2025 insurance, and staff recommendation is that you approve it.
Okay. Need a motion?
Move for approval?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Shelby.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick.
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Aye.
Councilmember Putt.
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Approved. Item C has been removed and moved to December 16th. We will be bringing lunch that day. Item D, Delta, Bear County Appraisal District Board of Directors Ballot, Resolution 927, 2025. And do you have anything on that one?
Oh, no, sir. Whatever y'all decide on that.
Did y'all decide on that one? Yes,
So,
please.
okay, so Barksdale is the incumbent. As I'm looking through all of them, the one that was the standout for me was Barksdale and Ivalis Gonzalez. Those were the two that really stood out for me. I don't know any of them, and I've never had interaction with any of them. I just went and looked at their resumes. And I liked those two. I was hoping that somebody else had.
But we have 6 votes to cast.
Oh, so 3 and 3. Or 1 for each.
That would be
No.
3 for each.
Sorry, Becky.
3 for each?
I move we vote 3 for each.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
Councilmember Shelby.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fitzpatrick.
Aye.
Councilmember Goolsby.
Aye.
Councilmember Putt.
Aye.
Councilmember Rubal.
Aye.
Councilmember Vaughan.
Abstain.
Motion carried.
Approved. It is 7:58. Meeting is adjourned. You got 2 minutes to run out there to see.
So did you accept the rest of the show?
The 3 for each of the 2 that he has.